Welcome in and welcome back, everybody, to Sports Prophet TV. This, of course, is the MLS Live podcast. We're talking Week 6, Major League Soccer. I am the Sports Prophet, also known as Coop, and with me is my guy Garrett at JSomeFooty. All righty, so we finally did it. We had a killer week, absolutely smashed a 2 units, hit a plus 152 winner as well. So really successful week all the way around. Kind of gets us closer to that probably around even mark, not quite on the season after a slow start to the year, but no looking back now. We're going to keep it rolling.
It was a brutal start to the year, but we knew what we've done on the show year in, year out, and you just stick to the grind, man. It's going to come back around, and it feels like now we've got the wheels off the ground, man. So let's fly the plane for a while.
Love that analogy. Without further ado, we can get into it. But before we do, I want to talk about the show's new sponsor. Fantastic new sponsor, Bet105, a sports book, offshore, but I think also available in most of the 50 states in the United States. This is a book that I've used for a minute now. Used before a couple of years ago and back under new ownership. But the big thing about Bet105 is the player-friendly lines. They offer lines like this week, for example, for March Madness. They're going to be dealing minus 103, minus 103 on pick'ems. They're also going to be dealing minus 103 lines on Italy Serie A. Starting, I think, tomorrow. I think we have some Serie A action. Am I coming through clear, Garrett?
You're all right. It's a little, you were breaking up there for a little bit, but you're all right.
Yeah, I've got like a weird a weak signal for some reason, which is weird because it's been just fine. But anyway, yeah, Bet105. I put the link to the book in the description of the video. Very solid, player-friendly book. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't. I think you'd be good to go in New Jersey. The last I checked, definitely look into it. I think it's one of those books that's like kind of like a Bet Online. But if you can get access to it, really great player-friendly lines. They're doing I think 100 to get 50 back on smaller deposits right now. But you can't beat minus 103 on a pick'em. So, thanks to Bet105 for sharing that with us, and great new sponsor of the show. All right. Without further ado, we will get into the games, and we are going to start in St. Louis. St. Louis City hosting my Verde and Black. Austin coming to town. And where are we going here, Garrett?
So, yeah, I got to keep you on your toes. This is the Sunday game, right? So this is the game. I think there's 2 games on Sunday. And St. Louis, like most teams, has always been better defensively at home. That's where they are this weekend, hosting Austin FC. So we're going to go with the under 2.5 here between these 2 teams. Lewin is suspended, and while Hartl has taken over the role of maestro for this squad, Lewin's absence is going to be felt in progression, and he is still second on the team in chances created. St. Louis are only allowing 1.4 expected goals a game, expected goals against at home so far this season, which is second best in the league. Austin have the second best defense overall in the league, and that means they've been solid defensively on the road as well, with a top 5 away defense in terms of expected goals allowed. So both sides have only seen 1 game this season get 3 or more goals. So this price just feels like a nice bit of value for what I think is going to be a pretty boring affair. We know Austin, when they travel, they sit back, they absorb. St. Louis, their games, again, like I love their overs when they're on the road. Like last season, we just ate it up when they were on the road. It was just a nice little gold mine. At home, it's not always the same pot of gold, so to speak. So I really like the under 2.5 here. This is going to be like a 1-0 game for one side or the other. That just seems to be how these 2 teams operate in these scenarios. So minus 106. Yeah, this is an under. I'm going to definitely pounce on.
Yeah, Nico Ball, man. that's just kind of what Nico Estevez has done as a coach, and he's carried it over to his tenure at Austin. No surprise, even more so on the road, as you mentioned. Looking at the Austin games, 4 of their 5 games have been 1-0, right? So that's not a coincidence. That's how they want to play. That's and so it's not a coincidence that a lot of the games are 1-0 early and then they'll sit on it, or 0-0 late and somebody knocks in a winner. It's just kind of how they are set up right now under Estevez as the manager there. St. Louis City, they've been better defensively. If it's compared to last year, obviously that seems like they have put an impetus on that and really shored up the back line, at least tactically. So I think Austin on the road here, I don't see why their tactics would change. I mean, that's who they are going to be for the entire season. I think the under 3.5 as a parlay piece is going to be one of those, like 2 and 3 seasons ago when we would under 3.5 the Rapids at home, and we would just hammer that as a parlay piece the entire season. I think your Austin under 3.5s on the road are going to be really, really good parlay pieces. So of course I like the under 2.5 here as well. I like the price. And let's hope for another another Nico Estevez special. Welcome to the chat, buddy.
Nico Ball, it really sucks for the amount of money they spent on that offense, right? Like, you want to see Austin going, but Nico Ball actually hurts progression. It just hurts the team attack. So, yeah, 2 shots on target. We should have done 4 shots on target. That man crushed.
Dude, Evander is he's got his hair on fire right now. I hope that continues. But back to this one real quick, because I am obviously an Austin fan. Former season ticket holder, not this year. Got a little bit too much going on. Got new baby on the way, all that stuff. So I'm not going to have the time, but definitely an Austin fan. I don't hate what they're doing because, you start at the back. Would I like to see a little bit more expansive, maybe a little more balance? Yeah, that'd be great. But this is a league where defense is not at the forefront. Like, this is not a league where you have a ton of great defensive setups. So, man, if we can continue to hold the line and lead the league and be just great defensively, we have the talent. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, dude, if we win a bunch of games 1-0, I'm not going to be pouting. Like, I'm not going to be upset about it. Like, I'll be leading the charge for Nico at that point. So
I just love it because you were such a Nico hater before he came to your team. It's just great. I love it.
I think that says a lot about Josh Wolf, the fact that I'm letting Nico into my heart so soon, because Josh Wolf, man, wonder what that guy's up to now. All right. We will keep it moving. Yeah, great call on that Evander prop, man. All right. On to the next one here. My home team, now your home team, Nashville, hosting FC Cincinnati. You kind of put me on to this Nashville improved lineup a couple of weeks ago. You were like, hey, because first 2 weeks it was kind of shaky, right? They weren't healthy. We didn't know what BJ's cooking. Is it gourmet? Is it, cup of noodles? What's going on here? And leaning towards, 4 or 5-star meal. Dude, Nashville's creating right now. They look good. Like, they look really good. And I think this is a team that we can get behind on the goal front. I think this is a team that's going to score some goals. Obviously, Cincinnati gets Dinky back. We'll see if he starts the game or if he comes off the bench. He did play significant minutes on the international break. He played, I'll tell you exactly where he played. For Togo, he played significant minutes, leading the line in the African World Cup qualifiers there for Togo. So we'll keep an eye on that. Either way, I like goals here. So I'm taking the over 2.5. Love the way that Nashville's been creating and playing. They are number 3 right now in Major League Soccer in expected goals. So Gotta love that. I think we get more of it at home. Absolutely no reason, not to continue that style of play. They get Kasim back from international break, which will be great. And Cincinnati should have Dinky back and a couple other guys. So I think this one's simple. I think you got enough talent on the Cincinnati side in attack to contribute. And by the way, dude, this Cincinnati team has not been like crazy solid defensively this year, and part of that's some guys that they're missing. There still should be missing Miles Robinson and teenage Hadibi for this one at center back, and Miazga obviously is out long term, but they've been like middle of the pack defensively.
Yeah, I mean, they swapped some center back depth. Two guys who played a key part in that back line, not necessarily starters, but definitely depth pieces, moved on in free agency. And so they sacrificed some defense for some attacking power, right? And so I'm not going to dive into this game too much because I'm going to be on this game as well. This is apparently like the game of the show. I mean, I guess because we're both got action here.
Yep.
But I do like goals here. I do. I'm not sure. I see this 2-1. I don't know who wins though. Like you would want to say Nashville at home, but I mean, since he's just on their day, that attack is as good as any attack in the league. And so, and I don't really think Nashville's been super tested yet on defense. I really am looking to see how this team reacts when they get in trouble. You know, how do they react? Because like I've said the whole time, that I don't think there's speed on that defensive line to make up for mistakes, right? And they're a high pressing team. They're going to press hard. Eventually that dam is going to break, so to speak. You can't just keep pressing and not make mistakes. Like that's just going to happen. That's why it's risky. That's why coaches do it though, because just as much as you can get beat, you can force a turnover deep in your opponent's half and have a good scoring opportunity almost instantly. So I like the over here. I like goals. I'll touch on this game more later on.
Fantastic. All right. We keep it moving. DC United hosting the Columbus Crew.
So it's funny because I think DC United, the results are much better than the team actually has been. And the results haven't been great. But they played the three worst teams in MLS in a leaky Chicago defense before they went up against Orlando last week. And then they get hammered by Orlando. It felt like DC's early season results, like I said, while not great, might have been even better than they should have been. Now they get one of the best sides in MLS, only one of two teams still undefeated. And I think we might see more of the same that we got last week, this week with the Columbus Crew. So we're going to be on the Crew draw no bet at plus money still, plus 102 as they travel to DC. Now, granted, even though they have not lost, the Columbus Crew are not hitting the high notes so far this season with 3 draws through 5 games. But I think they should easily outclass DC here, who we thought wasn't very good going into the season. And I think they'll show us right as the season goes on. I am taking draw no bet here as it's still plus money in some spots. And it just feels like a safer bet here. Road dogs don't excel in MLS. You can find some gravy there from time to time, but the home field advantage in MLS is real. Like it's a real thing. So I'm taking draw no bet here just in case we get another draw, another slow Columbus start. But I don't see any reason why they should drop all 3 points here. Now, I will say this line has been trending toward the Columbus Crew since it opened. And I expect it to keep trending that way. It's not moving heavily, but it's just a steady creep toward the Crew. So I would expect this to not be plus money anywhere by the time we get to kick off on Saturday. So going to go ahead and take it now. I can still get a little bit of value on it, and it's Crew draw no bet. I just feel like this is an easy one with a team that, while is not as good as last year's team, obviously, like Cujo's gone, that hurts them. This team is still head and shoulders better than this DC United 11, and the coaching isn't even in the same galaxy. So this just feels like a really good line getting Crew here.
Yeah, no, I think it is a really good line. I think the Crew still kind of have some improving to do. I think that I wouldn't call it rust necessarily, but I just don't think they're playing even without Cucho, I just don't think they're playing at their current potential. We know DC's frailties. This probably closes for me at like an Asian handicap, like a minus 0.25 for Columbus. So I'm with you here. I like the Crew, better team, well-rounded, and obviously the coaching, like you said, I mean, not even close. All righty. All right. So I teased it a little bit earlier. Second official 2-unit release of the show season. I'm going to be on Minnesota United here for 2 units. We obviously crushed our 2-unit last week with the Atlanta Cincinnati over. Back in the Loons here at home. This is a team I've been buying all season. They are underachieving on their expected goals. Defensively, they've actually been like top 10, which I didn't really expect this team to be a top 10 defensive unit this year. RSL are way overachieving on their expected goals. They should be also could be pretty banged up for this one. They're already kind of shorthanded when it comes to the attack. And last game, they started Piol next to Ajago up top, and Piol got a red card, so he's out. Luna has been playing international break, so he probably starts anyway just because they have to have him. And then Pablo Ruiz went out in the 47th minute, which is a massive, massive injury if he can't play. They're really shorthanded at that point. Basically, I think RSL is really fortunate that the season has not gone worse so far. They're going to be even more shorthanded for this one. Minnesota, it looks really good. Weather should be good for this one. The only other home game that they've gotten this year, other than last week, the weather was horrible against Montreal in their second game of the season. So, yeah, 2 units for me at this price. And by the way, I got this price on Bet 105. So, I mean, not a lot more other than I think this is a team that's going to be really good all year at home. And I wouldn't put these 2 teams anywhere near the same level right now.
Yeah, no, this is a good spot for Minnesota. And you look at their last 2 games where they've conceded 5 goals between those 2 games. I'm not worried about it. The defense is solid. The defense season long has what I think 3.9 expected goals against on them. So like there's some positive regression coming for the defense too. So this just feels like a good spot for Minnesota. I don't blame you for taking 2 units here. Yeah, there's not much else to say. You covered it. I mean, RSL is going to be shorthanded. It feels like. I don't think Piolo is a big loss for them. The young Aussie kid, he's got to figure. He's got to work on some stuff. But again, they don't have a starting caliber MLS 9. They just don't. And so RSL should not scare anyone. And yeah, Minnesota's a solid side. We were on them preseason. We've been on them all season. Like this is one of the teams we had circled who, we're probably going to ride a lot this year. And so, yeah, here we are putting, the money where the mouth is and back in Minnesota in what I feel like is a really good spot. So no problems here at all.
Yeah, and also should have Laud back from international duty on Finland. He's obviously a big piece of that attacking unit there. So it'll be nice to have him back. And yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I don't think the young Australian kid deal. I don't think he's that big of a deal either. But they just don't have it. They have no depth either. So I mean, it's should be a tough spot for them. All righty. Second 2 unit of the year. There you go. All right. Got a couple of combo plays to round out the show.
So, yeah, I've got 2 different parlays. They're all both teams to score parlays. And so I'll get into that thinking here in a second. But the first one's going to be Toronto hosting Vancouver, both teams to score, plus the Chicago Fire hosting Montreal, both teams to score. Now, Toronto are a bad team, no doubt. 3.5 expected goals through 5 games does not excite anyone. But only one of those games was at home, and they're home here hosting their Canadian rival, Vancouver Whitecaps. It's the rivalry part that really has me intrigued. Toronto hasn't failed to score against Vancouver when at home, going all the way back to 2011. Now, granted, almost every iteration of Toronto has been better than the one they're currently fielding. I understand. But Vancouver finally laid an egg last weekend in Vancouver, no less, versus Chicago. And I think all the CONCACAF action might finally just be catching up with them, right? Like they were the hottest team in MLS plus CONCACAF. Like that's just unsustainable, that kind of momentum when you're having to play that many games that often. And here in CONCACAF, the opponents are only going to get harder. Speaking of CONCACAF, like Vancouver have a quarterfinal matchup on Wednesday versus Pumas at home, where they know they have to get a result. Like Vancouver does not want to go into Mexico needing to get needing to get 3 points. It's not ideal. So I'm curious if we do see some rotation from Vancouver with that midweek clash in mind. This would certainly help Toronto if we did. But I think Vancouver, they've been doing their part so far this season with a healthy 1.7 expected goals a game. I expect them to get one here, even if they change their 11 some. It's just difficult to see how this game ends full time. A winner, draw, whatever. Like I could make an argument for either result, but I fully expect at least a 1-1 here, given the scenario and matchup. And then when we add the Fire, I'm just gonna lump all the Canadian sides together here. It's a really interesting matchup with the Fire hosting Montreal. Montreal are in a bad way. I mean, they are the current front runners for the Wooden Spoon. They fired their coach 5 games into the season. They've only scored 2 goals through 5 games. I know I'm giving y'all 2 matchups that just sound not great for both teams to score. And that roster is just void of game-changing talent. New manager bounce? Question mark. I mean, maybe, but it's not easy to get a team to consistently play above its talent level. Like you have to be an excellent coach to do that. Here's a fun fact about Montreal. They haven't spent money on a DP transfer since 2014. So this is the kind of team that we're messing with here. The good is that Montreal's attack has been way better statistically speaking than the results have shown. They're good for almost 5.5 expected goals through 5 games. So that's a healthy 1.1 or so expected goals a game when they're only having scored 2 so far this season. So I like a little positive regression there. And they are traveling to Chicago, who has a top 5 leakiest defense in expected goals against so far this season. I think it's 1.78 expected goals against a game right now. Like Chicago, while they've been fun in attack, they're going to give it up. And so I just think Montreal's could be turning some bad luck around and finding the net here. And we've commented on how much better Chicago's attack has been getting. So while they can concede a lot, they also have a top 5 attack. So I certainly see Chicago get on the score sheet. Chicago probably win this one, but considering how they haven't kept a clean sheet all season, I wouldn't hold my breath that they keep a clean sheet here now, right? Even with Montreal coming to town. So this is just both these matchups for this plus 183. It's just playing the analytics, man. Like between the matchups and who's coming in for what Vancouver's got going on, Chicago's defense. I got 2 bad offenses in Toronto and Montreal, who I think should at least find one this weekend. It's just good matchups for those teams to get their attack back humming again a little bit. So yeah, at plus 183, both of these lines are playable for me straight at like minus 145, minus 150 like singles. I don't want to eat that juice on these matchups though, even though I really like these plays. So when I put them together, I get plus 183. Now I'm risking way less for almost the same return. And so for me, this makes a lot of sense to do these 2 plays this way.
Oh, I like that. I like that logic on the on comboing them there. I'll tell you what I like about this. I like that this is a good old fashioned handicap. This is not a ton of analytics and this and that. This is just like, look, the spots are good. I know the teams are who they are, but we're gonna bet the spots and we're gonna use that in our favor. This is 100% an old fashioned handicap on both of these games. So
hey, bad teams can win money too.
Absolutely. Chicago, dude. I think Chicago might score a boatload of goals this year. I don't think that's going to be I think they're going to be good.
They're going to have to, because they're going to give up. They're going to give up a bunch.
They're going to give up a ton. Kuipers is #1 in the league right now in expected goals created by himself. Well, on the list of players.
No, he's looking like the guy they signed last year, so it's good.
And they'll have Gutierrez back too from the break, so that's helpful.
Yep, he should be back too. Mm-hmm.
All right. Next one, another combo play.
So another both teams to score combo play that I love as well. Again, 2 plays. I couldn't believe Miami's both teams to score price, so I had to find a way to fit into that. Again, Nashville's price is just below my juice threshold. I didn't want to play it straight though. Like, this is another way to get action on 2 games I wanted with 2 plays I love and just have to risk a little less. So I got Miami and Philly. It's just a beautiful goal spot, man. Like, there could be some live shots here for totals for sure. But I was really surprised to see both teams to score better than -200. I think when I took this play, it was like -185 or something. So I'm 100% attacking a play I see as value for a parlay leg. Miami's offense analytically hasn't been super impressive so far this season, but it's Miami, and they just have the talent to cheat the expected goal, so to speak. I don't expect Messi to play. Something tells me that if he missed World Cup qualifiers with Argentina, he's going to be out for a bit. Like, it would not be a great look if he missed the international break and then immediately comes back into league play. Argentina would have something to say about that. But Miami have shown time and time again that they can get the job done without Messi. So I'm honestly not too worried here. Philly's attack is a top 5, and with their pressing, I think they'll force mistakes, but also get caught out multiple times. I absolutely love both teams to score here. I just love goals here in general, but definitely both teams to score. And then I'm going to get back to the Nashville game where we're already on the over 2.5, right? So Nashville both teams to score is interesting, but this Cincy defense, and you touched on it in your part, isn't very good. They've sacrificed depth on their back line, like I've talked about, and have been hit with injuries. They won't be missing as many guys as last week when we attacked them in that 2-unit play. But Nashville's attack is showing immense promise, and I expect they'll give Cincy's defense a fit or two. And then Cincy might have the best 2 players on the pitch with Evander and Dinke. Evander smashed last week, and he's turning into a top 3 player in the league, which we said, like, when he came over, this is this dude's potential if he gets his head right and wants to play. It looks like he's in a place he's happy. He wants to play. And then you just take Nashville's right up, and basically he's a copy paste of Philly. Gonna press high, gonna force mistakes, might get caught out a time or two. I just love what I have here with 2 pressing teams facing elite offenses. I think there's gonna be goals in both of these, man.
Yeah, I mean, we like you said, we've covered the Nashville Cincy game pretty well. Miami and Philadelphia, technically you could call this a heavyweight bout based on the current standings in the East, right? So Philadelphia they've surprised all of us. They've just continued to find a way to roll. I don't know if that's sustainable necessarily as far as winning the amount of games that they're winning so far, but I definitely see both teams scoring in that one. I think Philadelphia gets up for it. And then, the Nashville game. You have any plans to go to one anytime soon?
I'm there almost every home game.
Oh, okay. You going to this one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one.
This is gonna be a great one to be at.
Yeah, there'll be a ton of talent out there for this one. Do we want to look at the odds trader screen and see if there's anything else that looks interesting, or do you?
We can. I'm always down to shop.
Okay, let's do that. We'll go back.
I'll say there's some interesting matchups. I don't know where I'm going to land on them, if at anywhere at all. But like, I don't know, San Diego and Los Angeles, that feels super interesting because it's a weakened San Diego side versus Los Angeles, who still just can't seem to get it off the ground yet in that attack. So curious where that one ends up.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay. It worked this time. All right. Revs and Red Bulls. That's a weird one, right? Because the Revs might be the worst team in Major League Soccer, but
It was Red Bulls. Yes, I almost put Red Bulls on the show for 3 weeks in a row. Because I really like this Red Bull side. Their draw no bet was just a little more juicier than what I wanted compared to some of the other plays I got here, where we're not eating a lot of juice at all here with I think 4 plays I tossed out. So that's why they didn't make the show. But you're never gonna convince me to not be on Red Bulls draw no bet when it's a playable price against the Revs, who are bad, man. They're just bad.
Yeah, double chance. Red Bull's definitely worth going in maybe a parlay or two, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Decent chance I find myself on Atlanta United team total. I mean, I don't know if I can resist. It's playable. It's going to be like in the minus 125 range, I think, as of now.
I think if you're gonna play Atlanta team total, I think you just play Latte Loth, like anytime goal scorer or something like that, because we saw it even last week, man. Like it cashed, and it should have cashed with what the expected goal chances that were created in that game.
Yeah.
But it took an own goal toward the end to like get us the full cash, right? Like it's this Atlanta attack. Now he's had some of the best headers I've seen so far this season. Like it just floats, and he just floats with it and just heads it home. But like he is the attack, man. So if you're going to bet on Atlanta attack, I think you're better taking a shot on him overall, like for most games. So that's where I would end up in that one. If you're looking at Atlanta, just backing Latte Loth.
Okay, that's fair. We've covered a bunch of these. And FC Dallas Sporting Kansas City. I'm like, it's like if almost anybody else is minus 120 at home against Sporting Kansas City, I'm interested. But I just have no trust in Dallas.
You can't trust Dallas to finish the game. You can't trust them to finish the game. They've got way more talent than Sporting Kansas City. But as we've seen with Dallas multiple weeks now, they choke games away.
Yeah.
And so you just can't trust them.
No. Let's see what else we got here.
I almost thought about both teams to score there. Like a psycho.
Yeah, that talk about a hold your nose play, trusting Sporting Kansas City to score on the road, but
because you just know Dallas is going to concede, man. Like you just know it's going to come. They concede. Yeah, it's just bad, man.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do think Dallas overs can continue to be a thing as we go, but not here. All right.
I do wonder how many more L's it takes before Vermees gets fired, though. Like it's already happened, right? So like you're not gonna be the first team firing your coach now. So how many games do you give a dude who just like everyone agrees should just already be gone?
I don't know. It's a tough one. He's such a staple there, but I mean, heck. Orlando, like Orlando. I mean, I'm almost down to fake Galaxy any week at this point.
I don't know. I'm waiting on paint still information. I don't think he's back this week, but I know he's close.
Paint still changes my auto fade with them, like right away.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think he's back this week yet, but he is close.
All right. Interesting one here. San Diego and LAFC. San Diego's banged up big time, bro. Like they're not deep. So
I feel like this is either
something last week.
I feel like this is either LAFC comes out and smashes or San Diego gets a draw here. And like I'm getting draw vibes. I don't get a lot of draw vibes in MLS. But I'm getting a little bit of draw vibes here. I'm just worried that you take the draw and it is the LAFC smash spot. But I think it's wild to me that they've made LAFC a plus 200 worst dog. Like this game is much closer than that.
Yeah. I would have expected like one of those plus 175, plus 175 type lines here.
If San Diego is fully healthy, I might take San Diego here, but like they're not. And so these lines are not correct.
Yeah, I'm with you. And LAFC kind of might have found some. I mean, it was Sporting Kansas City, but they looked okay last week.
Do you want to know? So for San Jose, Seattle, I batted around the over 2.5 for the longest time. Because do you know who's number 1 in expected goals in the league?
Yeah, San
Jose. Do you know who's number 1 in expected goals against in the league?
Like in a good way or a bad way?
In a bad way, like the worst defense in the league.
No.
It's also San Jose.
Oh, wow.
And so like you just have like the perfect storm here brewing. It's just, do I trust Seattle to score? Like we talk about how we don't like that. We just don't like that team, right? We don't like how they're built.
I think they can score on San Jose for sure.
It's just so wild to me. Like league play, there's just no attack in this team. But you go to, I just don't get it, man. Like, and then they get smashed in CONCACAF. Like, I wanted to play the over so bad because it shouldn't be 2.5. Like any other team versus San Jose, and this is a 2.753 total we're looking at. It's just like, man, it is a perfect storm for goals there. I mean,
yeah, it's that Seattle effect on the total. St. Louis, Austin, we touched on that one. I have no way I'm touching Portland, Houston. That's going to might be on one of my monitors or something, but no way I'm playing that game.
That might be the worst Sunday night game of the season.
Yeah. How's that Sunday night soccer? I mean, I guess if everyone was healthy,
they can't flex them in.
Yeah. And you can't control injuries, I guess, too. But anyways, I forgot to remind everybody to like and subscribe. But if you're still watching, like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at MLSLIVE Podcast. And that was a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 official show picks. 4-1 last week, plus the player prop winners. We're going to keep it going. Got another 2-unit that we released exclusively here on the show for you guys. So lock them in.
We're heating up.
We're heating up. We want to get all that closing line value, so lock them in now. Anything else, Garrett?
No, as always, thank you for the support. It means the world. Best of luck to whatever you're on this weekend, and we'll catch you next time.
See you next week.